Here with Richard Pintal, Redmond O'Neill's attorney. Can you tell us, Mr. Pintal, what happened this morning in court?
Today was a progress report for Redmond to come here before Judge Tynan, and what Impact does is Impact provides a written statement to the court on how any of their clients are doing. And so based on what Redmond's done in the last 45 days, Impact writes a report, provides it to the court, and sees how the client or the individual is progressing, and then the court has you come back again.
Judge Tynan seemed a little concerned about Redmond. Can you discuss what happened, his concerns?
Redmond's report was positive. He's compliant in all phases of his treatment and his recovery, and Redmond's doing well. What Judge Tynan encouraged Redmond to do was to crank up, I would say, the level of enthusiasm and the level of, not participation. Redmond's doing extremely well in his participation, but I think the fair thing to say would be that Judge Tynan would want Redmond to amp up his enthusiasm. And what we explained to the court is that Redmond has been clean now for 9 months, and Redmond has only been up at Impact for about 60 days, and it is an adjustment period that Redmond's going through. So, Judge Tynan has an extremely legitimate and valid point. On the other hand, Redmond is in a period of adjustment. He still is learning how to participate in a very, very rigorous treatment program. And as I said earlier, the report's very, very positive. Judge Tynan just wants him to amp it up a notch.
When Redmond addressed the court concerning Judge Tynan's overall concerns, Redmond said that he was still dealing with the death of his mother. Is that having any role in how he's doing at Impact?
It's having a very significant role. Redmond's going through two things at the same time. He's going through intense treatment and rehabilitation, and he's going through the grieving. And what Redmond was expressing to the court is that perhaps his reticence and perhaps what is being seen as not being as enthusiastic is due to the fact that he's grieving. And Redmond still is grieving, and as we all know, Redmond was in custody and was only released briefly to attend his mother's funeral. So, Redmond has had to deal with the loss of his mother while he was in custody and then immediately while in treatment. So I think what Redmond was legitimately doing was respectfully addressing the court and letting the court know where he was emotionally, that certainly Redmond's extremely grateful to be at Impact and is doing very well. Again, the report is that the client is progressing well, Redmond's progressing well, and it's recommended that he comes back for another progress report. Redmond expresses to the court that not only is he going through the treatment aspect and treatment phase, which is very rigorous, but on top of it, he's grieving and he's dealing with that. Both of those things combined have made it a very trying time for Redmond.
Redmond seemed to be very distressed about the situation in court this morning. He seemed to be very emotional. He takes this very seriously. Would that be fair to say?
That would be very fair to say. Yes, Redmond's committed to his recovery. He's embraced his recovery. I wouldn't say he was distressed. I would say that it's more emotion than anything else. I mean, the judge asked him a question. Before the judge addressed him, I talked to Redmond and I said, just say what's in your heart and what's on your mind. And what's on Redmond's heart and mind was his mother. And I think that stirred up emotions, very positive emotions, but emotions nonetheless. So I spoke with Redmond afterwards, and it's really not distress. I think it's a natural reaction to, being in front of the court, being nervous, and having a judge instruct you on what the judge expected, and then the judge actually questioning you. The judge doesn't question everybody in court that comes up for a progress report. And the judge, addressed Redmond, and Redmond very spontaneously, without any preparation or thought, said what was on his mind and in his heart, and I thought it was very sincere, and I think that sincerity was reflected in his answer, how he answered, and in his natural emotion.
So we'll see him next in court on December 2nd, is that correct?
December 2, yes.
Okay, thank you so much.